The Sangaya schools, the mission schools will be specially targeted for such interventions.
Government seeks multi-stakeholders approach to combat malnutrition in Nigeria.
Ensuring access to inclusive and equitable quality education that fosters lifelong learning opportunities for everyone.
First Lady advocates equal opportunities for girls as she performs as the turning ceremony of alternative high schools for girls in Osogbo. Enugu and Ekiti states opt out of national electricity market. Hello and welcome to the Network News. I am Olajide Bello. Benny Adams is standing by with the business news segment, and also our power correspondent Joshua Ojito to talk more on two states that have pulled out of the national electricity market. Remember, you can watch this broadcast live on our website nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen. Now let's start from the aviation sector. Dana Aircraft McDonnell Douglas MD-83 with registration FNBKI this Tuesday overshot the runway while landing at the Murtala Mohammed Airport in Lagos. The aircraft, which left Abuja for Lagos, had 83 passengers on board. In a statement by the management of Dana Air, the operator confirmed that all 83 passengers and crew on board disembarked safely without injuries or scare, as the situation was professionally handled. Dana Air confirmed that the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, NSIB, and the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, have been informed of the incident while the aircraft has been grounded for further investigation. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority has confirmed that a Dana Airline aircraft was involved in a runway excursion occurrence on 23rd April 2024 at about 8:25 this Tuesday morning. The aircraft departed Abuja for Lagos with 83 passengers and 6 crew members on board, but veered off the runway into a grassy area upon landing in Lagos. All passengers and crew disembarked and were evacuated safely while runway 18L was closed in accordance with statutory procedures. The Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau has commenced its investigation into the occurrence. NCAA reiterates its avowed commitment to a safe and secure aviation sector as it assures the public its unrelenting effort in holding all operators and service providers in the sector to the highest international safety standards. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has taken into custody the former Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, in connection with an ongoing investigation related to alleged money laundering to the tune of 8 billion naira. The ex-Minister of Aviation made an appearance at the EFCC following an invitation extended to him by the Anti-Graft Commission. Hadi Sirika is presently assisting the EFCC investigators on the alleged fraudulent contract he allegedly authorized to a company where he has vested interest. Hadi Sirika will be arraigned in court soon. All right, let's quickly go on a commercial break. The news continues shortly. Thanks for being there. Now from the judiciary, a federal high court sitting in Abuja has ordered the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to serve the court processes regarding the alleged 80 billion naira money laundering charge against the former governor of Kogi State, Yahya Bello, on his counsel, Abdul Wahab Mohammed. The presiding judge, Justice Emeka Nwite, gave the order in a ruling following the absence of the former governor in court for his arraignment in the matter. Justice Nwite cited that Section 384, subsection 4 and 5 of the Administration and Criminal Justice Act 2015 held that since it was becoming almost impossible to effect personal service of the legal processes on the defendant, such could be done through substituted means. The court adjourned to the 10th of May for ruling on the application filed by Yahya Bello through his counsel, seeking vacation of an arrest warrant issued against him by the court on the 17th of April 2024. The EFCC had earlier declared the former governor Yahya Bello wanted as a result of the matter. Reactions have been trailing a viral video of a female student of the lead British school alleged to be bullied by her schoolmates. The video showing a female student being slapped multiple times prompted many people to seek urgent actions from concerned authorities, fearing that such acts had in the past led to death and also caused low self-esteem among victims. In a swift reaction to the video, the Federal Ministry of Education has summoned the management of the school to a meeting. The Minister of State for Education, Yusuf Tanko Sununu, cautioned that government will not condone any form of harassment or intimidation within educational institutions. As such, a 7-member committee has been appointed to thoroughly investigate the circumstances surrounding the incident.
If we are doing all the efforts, fight NTA and Boko Haram, in order to allow education to continue, then we cannot allow education to be threatened. We are students. Using forces against the weaker one will not be allowed.
Now to the Parliament. Members of the Senate and House Committee on Tertiary Institutions and Third Fund have lent their voices to the federal government's decision to limit admission to tertiary institutions to candidates at the age of 18. Chairman of the committee, Senator Muntari Dandu, says the views while monitoring the ongoing 2024 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination at 2 examination centers in Abuja.
Limitations is quite sacrificed, and is what the minister said is the truth of the matter.
If it means to even take it and amend and make sure we have a robust law, we're going to do that.
Now, talking health, the federal government has called for a multi-stakeholder approach in ongoing efforts to combat the problem of malnutrition in Nigeria, describing improved nutrition as crucial for national development and economic growth. Vice President Kashim Shettima made the call at a high-level dialogue with faith leaders on nutrition held at the banquet hall in the State House. Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
To the glory of God and the greatness of the Nigerian nation, I hereby launch these books.
A dream come true as these stakeholders meet to brainstorm on accelerating nutrition results in Nigeria project, and the government is seeking their support on the need for collaborative efforts to address malnutrition in Nigeria.
The President has approved that 20% of the palliatives in terms of food intervention be routed through our religious organizations and the traditional institutions. The Sangaya schools, the mission schools will be specially targeted for such interventions. We are working out the logistics through the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, and these interventions will be anchored in the office of the Honorable Minister for Budget and Economic Planning.
And the government said it cannot afford to neglect the issue of nutrition as it directly impacts on human capital development and economic productivity.
We have seen the role of traditional and religious leaders on immunization. We have seen the role you are playing on malaria, on HIV, and many other elements. We are calling on you at this juncture to also weigh in terms of the interventions that the government and our development partners are putting forward.
So I want to say here that the NTA FRC and News Agency of Nigeria will continue to pass this message down until the message really reaches where it is intended to go.
Let us harness the collective power of our faith communities to advocate for policies that prioritize nutrition.
Stakeholders commended the efforts of the Accelerating Nutrition Results in Nigeria project, funded by the World Bank, for its innovative approach to leveraging the influence of faith leaders in promoting positive behavioral change and sustainable nutrition practices.
Feeding people is very important. Keeping our farms safe for farmers is very important because they have to produce food. I'm talking of insecurity. So we're all collaborating together for the sake of humanity, for the sake of our people.
As the current president, I commit to leveraging the resources and networks available to us to promote nutrition.
The high-level dialogue between the National Council on Nutrition and the faith-based leaders will also provide a platform for strategic discussions and commitments towards sustainable nutrition investments for the benefits of all Nigerians. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Vice President Kashim Shettima is expected to attend the FCT MSME Clinic and Award Ceremony at the International Conference Center, Abuja, on 25th June 2024, where the federal government plans to dole out grants to owners of small businesses as part of activities marking the World MSME Day. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Job Creation and MSMEs, Tola Adekunle Johnson, said the MSME Clinic is designed to commemorate the 2024 United Nations World MSME Day as avenue to recognize and support outstanding small businesses in the country. He said the expanded National MSME Clinic will also focus on providing a platform to exhibit businesses gain access on site investment, as well as develop the 5 core areas of MSME.
So this call to action will be discussing provision of sustainable single-digit loans for MSMEs, a continental issue with continental solution. So what we have realized is that this issue of access to funding in a single digit is actually not a Nigerian issue alone. Some of our neighboring countries and partners have the same issue. But we are aware that if we knock heads together, the solution is within this continent as well.
Now, talking education, Nigeria can no longer afford to squander the potential and talent of half of its population by ignoring opportunities for inclusive education. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu set this in Osogbo, the Osun State capital, by performing the groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of alternative high school for girls in the state. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo has the report.
Alternative high school for girls was a distant reality to many Nigerians until 2007, when it was first introduced in Lagos State by Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, who was then the wife of the state governor. The school was born out of her motivation to enable girls who dropped out of school to get another chance at acquiring education and reach their full potential. Turning the sword for the construction of the school in Osogbo, the First Lady says its reintroduction as a national program with the Universal Basic Education Commission is to offer female school dropouts who desire to complete their education a chance at redemption.
Ensuring access to inclusive and equitable quality education that fosters lifelong learning opportunities for everyone is essential and is in accordance with Sustainable Development Goal 4, which is to, I quote, ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all, unquote.
By playing host to the special school, Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke is happy. He says the sense of fairness shown by the First Lady in choosing the state will be reciprocated.
We assure Your Excellency that our administration will follow up and provide needed support to ensure a robust operation upon completion of this school.
This ceremony marks the beginning of a new chapter of growth and progress.
This is the second giant stride taken by UBEC in the unfolding story of the alternative high school for girls in Nigeria, after inaugurating similar facility in Bauchi State.
It is expected that women who will enroll in the school will be accompanied by young children of nursery school age. The facility will not only allow their mothers to concentrate on their own programs, but will also entice the young children to learn how to learn.
Earlier, the First Lady met with traditional rulers in the state, led by the Ooni of Ife, Oba Enitan Adeyeye Ogunwusi, urging them to sustain their support for the Tinubu-led administration. From Osogbo, Adeniyi Taiwo, NTA News.
Public relations practitioners in Nigeria should engage in a strategic practice that will craft narratives and celebrate the nation's achievements through strategic messaging that will attract investors, foster innovation, and enhance Nigeria's standing on the global stage. This is contained in the message of the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, to the opening ceremony of the Public Relations Week holding in Abuja, Ogun State, where Governor Dapo Abiodun also charged the practitioners to sell Nigeria's renewed hope agenda to the world. Yemi Dalimo reports.
Over 2,000 public relations professionals from across the country converged on Abuja, Ogun State for the Made in Nigeria Public Relations Week. President of NIPR and Chairman of Council, Dr. Ike Neliaku, notes that PR should be given the opportunity to make the difference in building reputation and perceptions that people would appreciate.
And it is only public relations that ensures that your yesterday is celebrated, your today is appreciated, your tomorrow is guaranteed.
The Minister of Information and National Orientation and the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, who were both represented, say the various efforts of President Bola Tinubu to revive the nation's economy and proactive approach to address challenges facing the nation are yielding positive results, charging the NIPR to come up with more innovation to foster understanding, mutual respect and harmony in the country.
The profession and the institute. May the week serve as a catalyst for transformative action, propelling Nigeria towards a future defined by prosperity, integrity, and global acclaim.
I expect that the knowledge-sharing experience at this conference will be useful to delegates in proposing innovative solutions for addressing the PR challenges confronting our country.
Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun, who was decorated as the patron of the institute, urged NIPR to sell the renewed hope agenda of President Tinubu across the globe as the nation's asset to the economic and reputation renaissance.
Start selling Nigeria's renewed hope to all over the world so that we can attract further investments and boost the real sector of our economy.
There were goodwill messages from the Director General of NTA, Abdulhamid Dembos, represented, and others promising continuous support to the NIPR in building the Nigerian project. Highlights of the opening ceremony of the Public Relations Week include the unveiling of the Young Professional Hub of the Institute in Abeokuta. Yemi Dalimo, NTA News.
Now to the power sector. In line with the new Electricity Act 2023 and the 1999 Constitution as amended, Enugu and Ekiti states have pulled out of the national electricity market to establish theirs. In an order issued by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, transfers regulatory oversight of the electricity market in Enugu and Ekiti states to the newly established Electricity Regulatory Commissions. NERC directs Enugu, Benin and Ibadan electricity distribution companies to incorporate a subsidiary, EEDC Subco and IBEDC Subco, to assume responsibility for intrastate supply and distribution of electricity in Enugu and Ekiti states. Enugu, Benin and Ibadan electricity distribution companies are mandated to complete the incorporation of EEDC Subco and IBEDC Subco within 60 days from April 22nd this year, and all transfers envisaged by the order are to be completed by October 22nd this year. The Electricity Act 2023 mandates any state that intends to establish and regulate intrastate electricity markets to deliver a formal notification of its processes and request NERC to act accordingly. NRC, however, retains the role as central regulator with regulatory oversight on the interstate and international power generation, transmission, supply, trading, and system operations. Joining me now in the studio to talk more on the pulling out of 2 states from the national electricity market is our power correspondent, Joshua Ojito. You're welcome to the Network News.
Thank you, Olajide.
All right, Enugu and Ekiti states have now created their electricity markets. What does this portend for the sector?
Thank you, Olajide. For the power sector, this will now bring about or promote competition, especially in the distribution of electricity. And also it will now reduce pressure on the national grid. And this is a fallout of the 2023 Electricity Act, which was signed last year by President Bola Tinubu. The act now decentralized power generation, transmission, and also distribution, that each state now can legislate on electricity matter, create their own market, invite investors to come and generate, transmit, and distribute electricity. So far 12 states have applied to Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission to pull out of the market. But so far 2 states, their approval have been granted yesterday. That is Enugu State Government and Ekiti State. So these 2 states are now out of the national electricity market. They now have their own market where they can now regulate on electricity. They can also determine their tariff, what they should pay or what customers in their state should also pay.
Okay, Joshua, this new Electricity Act, how will it translate to improve electricity supply?
Just like I said, the Electricity Act is a game changer in the sector because there are so many advantages that it has for the sector. First, the issue of promoting competition. You agree with me that federal government has now been clamoring that the distribution companies have so many states to manage, so they should be unbundled along state lines in such a way that it will be manageable. So now that states are now creating their own electricity market, it will now enable them to have their own disco, their own gencos, and also their own transmission. But mind you, for now, the states are only to transmit, or especially now to do the transmission in areas that are not covered by the national grid. But for areas that are covered by the national grid, those ones are still under the control of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. But the good news about this new law or the Electricity Act is that it will now reduce pressure on the national grid. It will allow more states to generate. It will allow states to bring in investors. It will allow states to determine what they want to do in the market. Therefore, there are so many things. And also in the new act also, it provides for eligible customer. The eligible customer means as a company, you can go directly to the generation company and buy electricity, not necessarily buying it for the distribution company, but you buy it from the generation company directly and you get supply also. And also this new act also tasks the discos to sit up in terms of performance because the NBET is now exiting the market. Therefore, NBET is no longer going to buy electricity from the gencos and then sell it to the distribution companies. But the distribution companies are expected to buy their electricity directly from the gencos. In this case, they will now be able to account for what electricity they have bought from the gencos and be able to pay it well. So, as time progresses, there are so many good things, and by implication, this will now improve electricity generation. This will now make so many other sources of power generation to be harnessed in the country, like solar and other sources of energy that we have in this country. So it's a good news for the electricity sector.
All right, many thanks, Joshua Ojito there, our power correspondent, for your input on the Network News.
Thank you very much.
Moving on, the Tinubu administration is determined to improve the quality of life of the average Nigerian with commitment towards harnessing the potentials of the country's huge population. Vice President Kashim Shettima said this when he received a delegation from the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, led by its executive director, Natalia Kanem, said the administration's focus on women and children is premised on the fact that the health and vitality of any nation is measured by the way its citizens are treated. Vice President Shettima appreciated the support of the UNFPA to Nigeria over the years, saying the Nigerian government under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu also identifies with the aspirations and goals of the UNFPA. Executive Director of UNFPA, Natalia Kaminem, commended Nigeria's long-standing partnership with the agency since 1973. Dr. Kanem extended an invitation to the Nigerian president to join in the launch of the State World Population Report in Abuja, emphasizing Nigeria's strategic role in Africa and globally. Stakeholders on media engagement of a digital infrastructure in Nigeria are advocating for more enabling environment to digital service delivery in Nigeria. Omenka Amarachiku reports that this is the focus of Media Foundation for West Africa and the status of digital infrastructure in Nigeria. The report.
Digital technology has undoubtedly boosted productivity in Nigeria's public sector by streamlining, processing and ensuring transparency. However, despite some challenges in fully harnessing digital technology, access to digital platforms for both citizens and government officials informed this gathering on how best to explore digital infrastructure, as well as examining its roles in technological development.
It's important that we convene this forum to delve deeper into the status of DPI in Nigeria.
We should remember that Nigeria's constitution guarantees the right to personal privacy.
This conversation will help us to look at certain challenges being faced by journalists or by the media, and we can hopefully make some far-reaching recommendations which the government can run with.
Essential to recognize the significant role of Nigerian journalists playing in fostering awareness and championing DPI and DPGs.
The engagement also focused on making Nigeria's digital public infrastructure safer, equitable, and more inclusive. In Abuja, Umenka Marachku, NTA News.
Robo Leaders Forum Abuja has appealed to the federal government to set up a judicial commission of inquiry to investigate the killings of soldiers in Okwama community events leading to the incident and the aftermath. A statement from Chairman and Secretary of the Forum, Peter Oyo, and Robert Itar denounced the killing of the military and civilians and condemned the incident, saying that the rebels are known for promotion of peace and equity. The statement urged authorities to set up IDP camps for displaced families as they seek urgent steps to return the people to their ancestral home. Kindness, they say, is like a magnet that attracts love, support, recognition, loyalty, and best wishes from those it is done to. This explains the scenario of Nasiru Haladu Dano, a northerner born and brought up in the south, specifically River State, who has been turbaned as Sardauna of Dutse Emirates in Jigawa State alongside his friend. Muhammad Musa Askira reports.
The event was a gathering of top-notch Nigerians from all walks of life, including families, friends and associates of the new Sardauna of Dutse, who was elevated from an Amana Dutse to the new title, the Sardauna of Dutse. Among the prominent personalities that graced the occasion were former President Muhammadu Buhari, Vice President Kashim Shettima, Governor Umar Namadi, former ministers and top government officials retired and serving. Sardauna, which is one of the highly revered titles in the northern Nigeria, is always conferred to people who have distinguished themselves in their service to humanity. Nasiru Haladu Dano, being a philanthropist, has fallen into that category, and that is the reason for his promotion from Nang Amana to Sardauna of Dutse.
We must stand for the unity of Nigeria. No amount of threats, no amount of crisis that we cannot manage. We can produce more united Nigeria.
Friends and well-wishers described the new Sardauna as a bridge builder and a unifier who holds dual indigenship of northern and southern Nigeria.
He has used his position and the fortune he has made, legitimately made, to impact the lives of people, especially those who are poor, not only in Dutse, his own community, but all over the country.
Nasiru is a gentleman by excellence. He's been a bridge builder, a philanthropist, a total gentleman.
A banquet was also held at the Jigawa State Government House in honor of the Sardauna of Dutse with his friend, who was also turbaned as Sodengi of Dutse Emirate. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
The chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Ola Olukayode, reviews how the commission has recovered almost 120 billion naira and secured more than 1,600 convictions since assuming office. The chairman, at an interactive meeting with media executives, says the commission is committed to equity in combating corruption, as it's currently investigating more than 50 counts Ministries of Aviation, Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. He explained that the investigations are not about individuals, and the prosecution of former governor of Kogi State, Yahya Bello, the chairman, reveals that the former governor has withdrawn more than $700,000 to pay for his child's school fees in advance before leaving the government house. He further reveals that all efforts to make the former governor honor the commission's invitation was not successful.
I assumed office here. I didn't initiate the case. I inherited the case file. I called for the case file. I called for the report, and I said, look, there are issues here. Do you know on my honor, I put a call across to him, which ordinarily I'm not supposed to do, just to honor him as a governor, as a immediate past governor. Sir, there are issues. I've seen this case file. Can you just come? Let us clarify these issues. I'm under camera. He said, sir, I thank you, my brother. I know, but I can't come. There's one lady, I don't know what her name is, that she learned, she had said, she has surrounded the EFCC with over 100 journalists, to come and embarrass him and intimidate him and all kind of stuff. I said, okay, if that is your fear, I'm going to pass you through my own gate, special man's gate. You will come to my floor. We will accord you that respect. I will invite my operatives. They will come and interrogate you or interview you in my own office. What could be more honorable than that? In my own office. To allay the fear.
Time now for another break. Many thanks for being there. Let's now join Benny Adams for trending business stories. Benny.
Thank you, Lajide. And now talking business, sustainable development, innovation and entrepreneurship is what experts in project management seek to promote, and this is as strategic steps are being taken to prevent cases of project abandonment and quackery that often leads to losses.
Have professional project managers delivering projects in Nigeria. Then you have projects that are delivered in time. You have projects that are delivered within budgets. You have projects that save money. You have limited wastes in delivering projects in the country. And when you have professional project managers, what that does, to Nigeria is that you have a sustained development.
And more than 100 delegates from various African countries, including Nigeria, as well as 100 companies and startups have converged on Algiers for the 4th edition of the Digital African Summit. These organizers say the event marks a major turning point in South-South technological cooperation and the promotion of innovation in Africa. The Digital African Summit program includes themes around technology infrastructure, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, digital health, and fintech. And now a quick look at the market. Investors lost 199.80 billion naira as investors continue to take a profit, and the all-share index reduced by percentage 0.35%. Total volumes traded advanced by 87.34%. They closed at 574.43 million naira, valued at 7.84 billion naira, and traded in 7,324 deals. Transcorp was the most traded stock by volume and value, with 125.70 million and 1.89 billion naira traded, respectively. And at the close of trading, the market recorded 16 gainers, 25 losers, and 75 equities remained unchanged. That is Business News. Olajide, it's nice doing business with you.
Many thanks, Benny. Same here. Moving on, the federal government has endorsed the consolidated guidelines for the implementation of fiscal incentives for the oil and gas sector, a move to improve investment and operational climate in the industry. NECA reports via this firm's basis for the presidential directive aimed at enhancing the Nigerian oil and gas sector's global competitiveness while stimulating economic growth.
The signing of the consolidated guidelines for the fiscal incentives, a landmark achievement coming to reality after a series of consultations across the finance and petroleum ministries involving several key regulatory bodies, including the Federal Inland Revenue Service, the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, and the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority.
The idea is to make the atmosphere conducive, internationally competitive, such that investment comes in. And in this case, we know it's foreign direct investment effectively. And the aim is to increase production by increasing investment.
Special advisor to the president on energy says the move will deliver a competitive internal rate of return and attract over $10 billion within the next 12 to 18 months.
The guideline today that is being signed allows us to quickly move to the implementation phase and allow investors to make decisions so that we can reverse this decline, grow our production, grow our fiscal income, grow our foreign exchange earnings, and more importantly, start creating jobs.
The Fiscal Incentives Directive was signed by President Bola Tinubu in February 2024 with the aim of growing the country's gas output and reserves. In Abuja, Neka Oko, NTA News.
The Nasarawa State government says it is refocusing its energy and resources into developing the large-scale raw materials domiciled in the state, including the full exploration of the oil and gas sector as it gradually comes to fruition. This was revealed during a media briefing on the proposed 2024 Nasarawa Investment Summit tagged Industrial Renaissance, where expertise in various fields will be tapped to process the value chain of all areas with comparative advantage.
In the first 2 years after the summit, we are going to have any of the industries fully implemented and in place. Most of them have either been commissioned or they are at the stage of commissioning. In fact, yesterday I was at the Ministry of Solid Minerals and I met the Honorable Minister Dele Alaki, and the invitation was for him, to agree on the commissioning on the very first and the largest lithium processing plant that we are going to have in Nigeria.
The governor says public-private partnership will also be explored to advance the economic fortunes of the state, particularly in the oil and non-oil sectors through win-win situation in mining, agriculture and industrial development. To guarantee data privacy and protection, especially information on population statistics, the National Population Commission, NPC, has completed the setting up of an on-site data processing center, a facility that guarantees total security of data of Nigerians. Olushele Adeagbo reports that the center is sited in the premises of the NPC in Kaduna State.
The National Population Commission, Nigeria's leading demographic agency that provides data for national planning, has over the years been generating its data in silos and committing huge finances to have it secured. Now, data storage is on another cruise as the Commission now boasts of this well-secured on-site data processing center.
Census data is the mother of all data, and if you generate this kind of data, you have to have a robust data center. We have one in our headquarters. It's not been fully completed, but this one has been fully completed, and by the grace of God, we deploy this facility immediately.
Having gone through what has been provided here, we are very proud
and convinced that, yes, the Commission is set for a truly digital census.
The contractor did a very wonderful work.
Partners are confident that the facility is well fortified and has become impenetrable for hackers, with the MPC management keen on ensuring its sustainability.
We've tried our best as much as possible using technology that is available worldwide, the most advanced technology, to cater for and make sure we can mitigate against cyber attack.
Part of the contract entails training of our staff in the day-to-day running of this center.
And this is another testimony to the fact that we are ready to give Nigeria a reliable and acceptable census.
The National Population Commission Chairman, Nasir Isakwara, inspected non-sensitive materials deployed ahead of last year's planned census and enjoined staff of the Commission in Kaduna State to exhibit maintenance culture. Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
Another break beckons. The news